Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about all of the crazy changes that Rockstar have made regarding some of the vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online. We now have a new fastest bike in the game. Rockstar have also tweaked with a ton of the supercars, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about all of that information in this video today. So let's talk about what happened to the supercars first. I know this update was all about bikers. Obviously, it was called GTA Online Bikers, but with it, Rockstar actually patched a ton of supercars, and particularly a lot of the ones that had to do with the Cunning Stunts update, because this was the first DLC after it, so we knew that there were likely going to be some changes made, in particular with the RE7B, because we knew there was a glitch with the RE7B where if you applied custom tires and a stock spoiler, that its top speed would be way faster than it should have been, making it very unfair, having a competitive advantage that was far greater than any of the other supercars in the game. Well, it looks like Rockstar have actually patched this. So before anyone starts freaking out and saying like, rip RE7B, it was good while it was lasted, according to tests that have been done by GTA racing YouTuber Bruffy1322 and other people that have done research as well, including done their own testing around circuits and tracks and whatnot, the RE7B is still the fastest around a track. So it's still the fastest supercar in the game, even after the patch it's just received. That should just show you how ridiculously broken the RE7B was, and that it desperately needed a patch to fix whatever crazy top speed glitch it had going for it. But the RE7B is still the fastest. Once again, according to Bruffy's time, it used to be at 57.7 seconds around his track. Now it's at 1 minute and 01 seconds. So again, there's a slight difference there, still making it the fastest supercar in the game. But what this actually has done is actually ended up balancing the supercar class, because for the longest time, it was the RE7B, due to the crazy glitch it had, was by far the superior supercars. And then right below them on just a tinier little notch, you had the Tyrus, you had the ETR1, and then you had some of the other supercars like the Zentorno and the Osiris and the T20. But now what this new patch has done is actually really balanced out the supercar category, which is really great, because that's what you want in supercar races. You want any user who brings, a variety of cars to have a chance to win the race. And for the longest time, it wasn't like that. And what's also interesting about this update that Grand Theft Auto Online has received is even the other supercars as well have been affected by this new traction patch. So that's exactly what's going on. I believe it has something to do with the traction. And the biggest one that obviously we've seen so far has to do with the RE7B. However, all the supercars have actually been affected by this. But at the end of the day, and the net result is a more balanced supercar class, that now about 10 or 12 cars will be able to compete in races as compared to maybe 1, 2, or let's say 3. So at the end of the day, I know there might be some people that are slightly upset that their RE7B supercar is not incredibly fast, isn't insane, and just ridiculously high top speed. But overall, I think this is a great change for everyone in Grand Theft Auto Online and has a positive impact on racing in general, as now the supercar class won't be so divided and won't be as broken as it once previously was. So if I receive any more information on this, I will be sure to keep you guys updated, but for now there isn't a whole lot. Just know that all the cars are going to be tweaked a little bit, but for the most part the order in which they are the quickest is relatively the same. It goes RE7B, then you have Tyrus, ETR1, etc, etc, etc. So there hasn't been a lot that has been changed. Just know that it has been completely patched and has reworked the kind of traction system for these supercars. So now let's move on to the fastest new bike in the game. So obviously Grand Theft Auto Online added a bunch of new bikes, and there is now a clear fastest winner in Grand Theft Auto Online, and that is the new Hakachu Drag. So I pretty much assumed that this was going to be the quickest the second I saw the price for this vehicle. Obviously, when a bike is on the Legendary Motorsports site, you know there's going to be something special about it. And when it's $1 million, you also pretty much can infer that it's going to be pretty special as well. And the Hakachu Drag is no exception. It is the fastest vehicle in the game now as well, coming in at a time on Bruffy's test of 57.5 seconds, which puts it 2 seconds better than the Bati 801. So how insane is that? Now, I've actually had some trouble driving this bike. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just terrible with the handling of it, but I really seem to struggle with this bike. So I would not feel confident using it in races. But if you are an experienced and competent motorcycle driver, like I'm sure many of you guys are, it is going to be the best bike for you to use in races, as it's nearly 2 seconds faster than the previous best bike in the game. Now, some interesting things about the Hakkachu Drag as well is it actually doesn't receive a bonus for doing wheelies. So you guys know if you're on a motorcycle and you have a straightaway or anything like that, if you wheelie, you'll get kind of like a speed bonus. I'm not exactly sure what mechanic or property of the bike allows you to do that, but on the Hakkachu Drag, it's the exact opposite. If you lean forward, you'll actually go faster as compared to leaning backwards. So I'm not sure what benefit this offers the bike or benefit this offers the rider. Maybe if you're more an aggressive rider, this might end up helping you out. I'm not entirely too sure. Again, motorcycle culture is not my forte, but that is one of the things that has been noticed as well. Now, two things that I have picked up on, even though this is called the Hakkachu Drag, for whatever reason, I think it kind of goes slower in a straight line, but to me is much quicker around corners. Again, I'm not sure if that has anything to do with the design of the bike itself or has anything to do with maybe the features that Rockstar have given it, but that's what I've noticed, that it's just super quick around corners, and that's the trouble that I'm having, but it's slower in a straightaway, but it is the new fastest bike in the game. So keep that in mind as well, that if you want to compete in the motorcycle races, you might have to spend a pretty penny on getting the new Hakkachu Drag. Now, we briefly mentioned this in my video the other day, but another feature that Rockstar have actually removed from vehicles that I know has upset a ton of people in the community is stancing vehicles. So as I mentioned the other day, if you don't know what stancing is, it's essentially lowering the car by shooting the rims. So you're dropping the suspension lower than physically possible in the Los Santos custom shop. And by doing it, you can create this pretty cool look, but unfortunately Rockstar have removed it. Now, my prediction for this is they've removed it because of the extreme glitches that it can cause in terms of speed boost for vehicles that certainly would never reach those high top speeds. That's my best guess. Or it could be Rockstar prepping for something a little bit more official, like vehicles that are actually stanced. Maybe something along the lines of tuner vehicles. So again, that's like really putting on the tinfoil cap right there, but that is one possibility, but that is a thing that Rockstar have removed. Once again, we touched on that earlier, so I'm not going to go into it in too much detail. Two other things that I've seen going around that are like rumors, but I think actually have happened, and there's some glitches going on with a couple vehicles. One, the Sterling GT, for whatever reason, is now in the sports category. I saw this floating around on forums the other day, and I was like, really? Is that a thing? And also, the Shafter V12 is now in sedans when you want to use it in races. Maybe that was just a one-time glitch scenario where one individual used the Shafter V12 and it turned up in sedans, and where one individual used the Sterling GT and it turned up in sports. But if that is real, man, that is a major mess up right there, because the Sterling GT definitely doesn't belong in sports. It's sports classic, and the Shafter V12 definitely doesn't belong in sedans. It's in sports, and it's one of the fastest vehicles in the game. So hopefully Rockstar is aware of this, if that is a thing, and hopefully they'll get on to fixing that relatively soon. And finally, last but not least today, one other thing I noticed, and this was so weird, man. I don't know why this is a thing, but there is a customization option that you can apply to the bikes in Grand Theft Auto Online that will actually give it a traction bonus. So it's like the spoiler for bikes. So I'm guessing this only applies to the new bikes, because obviously the old ones don't have this sort of customization, but there is a belt drive customization option. There's about 10 or 11 things, and if you do any one of the custom options, you'll notice that it adds a traction bonus to the motorcycle. So that is really weird. I'm not sure what this does. I'm not sure why adding a custom belt drive adds traction to a bike, but apparently it does. And like I said, I'm not sure if this is Rockstar's way of trying to add a traction benefit to the bikes, because there's no way to add a spoiler, but man, that is just a weird way to introduce something like that into the game. So if you were going to overlook this feature, you probably shouldn't, because this can actually really help you out as far as getting a traction bonus, and who knows what impact that will have on races or whatnot. And like I said, some racers might not know about this, because when you think of upgrading cars and getting them ready for races, you're like, okay, I want to make sure you got armor, engine, brakes, transmission, turbo, got to get a spoiler when applicable. But when bike races, they don't even think about that, because there wasn't really ever a time where they could get a traction bonus, but now you can by adding this custom belt drive. So once again, I thought that was a very weird, something I noticed the other day when I was doing the customization stream, but I was like, I wonder if that's just a glitch or not. But yeah, it turns out that's an actual thing, and adding a custom belt drive will get you a traction bonus on the bikes. Anyways, those are the changes that have been made to many of the vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online as a part of this latest patch update. If any new information does surface from this, or we find out some new results regarding any of the information of the supercars or the bikes or any other of the vehicles in the game, I will be sure to keep you guys updated, and I'll let you guys know what's going on with that. Of course, if you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. I told you we had a pretty action-packed day today. I think I've got one more video going up, and I'm going to try and do a couple more streams, so expect that later on the channel. But of course, with out of the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.